Meghan McCain is now revealing why exactly she quit The View, telling our own Sean Hannity in an exclusive interview that her fellow co-hosts targeted her and treated her differently because of her political views. Here's a bit.
Being a conservative woman in mainstream media is deeply threatening. Being a woman who can hold her own on a show like that proved to be ultimately threatening. So it became more and more personal. The more successful I was on The View and the more moments I helped get them and the more I pressed liberal candidates and liberal guests on the show, the worse it got for me backstage. And then ultimately it started spilling out on air.
Wow, sounds like a mitigated cat show. Stephen, are you surprised about how Meghan was treated per her politics?
I'm not. I mean, I will admit this will probably come as a shock to all of you. I was not a regular watcher of The View, but when I did see it, it did seem like she was beat up on, she was teamed up on. So I'm not surprised to hear what she has to say. The unfortunate thing is that's the kind of format, the kind of show. I mean, the reason for having someone like Meghan McCain on is to bring a different point of view, to test the assumptions of the four women who all believe more or less the same thing, or largely the same thing. And the best kind of conversations come about when you actually push back, when you have an exchange of views, when you have somebody who's respectful and thoughtful and civil and comes on and asks questions from a different point of view, or makes points that you're not used to hearing when you're with your friends or your peers or your colleagues in the mainstream media. So it's unfortunate that she did this, and the more we have of those kinds of exchanges, I think the better off we will be.
You know, one of the things that our former coworker, Meghan McCain, was talking about was commenting on the sisterhood of supportive women who got her through all of these hard times, or all of these hard times that she had on the show. Let's watch a bit of that.
I worked at Fox News before I went to The View, and I probably would not have survived emotionally the past, 5 years of my life between my dad's passing and cancer and everything that I speak about in my memoir happening at The View and other things in my personal life. If it weren't for the women that I met at Fox News, I had a sisterhood at Fox that I lost at The View, and I know what women supporting women looks like because I had it when I worked at Fox News, and now I know what the entire opposite experience is.
So we should acknowledge that Meghan McCain sat on this very couch. Of course she had a sisterhood. I mean, there are four of us when we all get back together on the couch, four women here at Fox. Dagan, and I know you and Meghan are very close.
I'm one of the sisters. And Meghan McCain knows I will do a pavement dive for her. I will go to the mat and the asphalt for her and her family, and she knows that. Kat Timpf, Kennedy, Janice Dean, we're all in it together, and we support her and stand by her and are proud of her and this decision that she had to make, because she doesn't have to deal with that toxicity and that nastiness. And it's not just what goes on air. And I'm not giving anything away, but it's just chronic, constant poor treatment of Meghan, and she deserves better. But in terms of the treatment of conservative women, just look at Meghan will retweet something. She'll retweet a video of the comments she made last night, and look at the comments. The vile, condescending comments toward her and any conservative woman. You know what? Conservative women don't pick their friends based on their conservatism. We pick our friends based on loyalty and truth and standing up for one another. I don't care if my friends are liberal, but liberals don't pick their friends that way. And I'll just leave it at that. But nobody's watching The View for joyless Behar.
I have so much I could say, because I've sat in that seat too around Sunny Hostin, and I've seen it firsthand. I know what that's like. With Meghan sitting there to my left when my book came out, I mean, she was one of my supporters in terms of that. Come on the show, and we walked out to the back door, and I was like, girl, that was a moment. I mean, you were doing God's work here. Anyway, Kaylee.
Yeah, look, I think it's so bad that these women, according to Meghan, are not leaving their politics on the set and behind the scenes can be friends. We are all friends here. I interned at Fox News for Hannity and Combs. Hannity, of course, was a mentor of mine. We're of the same political viewpoint, but so too was Alan Combs, the late Alan Combs. He's a liberal. He took me under his wing. He was so kind to me despite our political differences. Then I went to CNN, where I was on 8-on-1 panels during during the 2016 election.
8 on 1?
8 on 1 sometimes.
Oh, my goodness.
Not everyone was kind off the set, but there were people like Van Jones who were kind, who handed me a mirror and said, "You got something in your teeth, sister," before we did our first election night panel. So I think the Van Jones, Alan Combs model should be the model for anyone. Leave your politics on the set. At the end of the day, we're all Americans, and I'm sad Meghan didn't have that at the View.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole story is really unfortunate and sad. And I think what stuck out to me is when she said the more moments that brought recognition, the successful moments of her pressing liberal candidates or liberal guests that resulted in thoughtful rhetoric and maybe pressing someone in their words and sort of shifting their experience, that is what led to sort of, again, the like sharks in the water and the circling. And I'm just picturing the visuals of her essentially getting beat up on by a mob because they didn't like her success because she didn't hold the same policy views that she did. It's incredibly unfortunate, and that's the tiny illustration of what she goes through, as Dagan said, on a daily basis in all of those platforms.
Well, and I wonder if conservative women in general, or those who just don't hold, liberal ways of thinking necessarily, I wonder if many of them don't feel like, well, if they shine based on their version of politics, they don't deserve to shine. I mean, isn't that the message that they were sending Meghan? Isn't that the message that many women who are conservative get? Dagan, real quickly, you take us out.
No, I was just going to say, how many conservative women have been on the cover of one of those fancy fashion magazines?
Zero, probably.
Right? So, and by the way, I credit, like, I've got a resting angry face. and so I credit, Meghan is a much stronger woman than I am, because I would have fallen out of my seat on many occasions having to tolerate what she had to take on that show.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.